This next question is directed to Don Meredith. I invite any of the candidates to speak to it. It's been 5 years since the invasion of Iraq. The military has not improved the situation. I believe in a diplomatic solution. Would you support the creation of a Canadian Department of Peace?
When we look at Canada's involvement in Iraq, it's something that we inherited from the previous Liberal administration. Canada always, Mr. Harper has said it clearly, ladies and gentlemen, that Canada stands up for its commitments. We're part of the United Nations, we're part of NATO, and we keep our commitments. We can't just opt out of our agreements. We continue to support the initiatives in Iraq. We said by 2011, we're going to pull out of Iraq. And we've made that clear, supportive by the Liberal government. If you allow me.
I just read it.
So my apologies, Afghanistan. My apologies, I misspoke.
The question
was Iraq?
In defense of Mr. Meredith, the question said the invasion of Iraq, but our involvement, of course, is Afghanistan.
That's correct. Our stance with respect to Afghanistan remains the same. We've said we've debated it in the House, and we will be there until 2011. Our initiative with respect to Iraq, the Liberal administration said they weren't going there. We never did. And so about the initiative to create an institution of peace,
Mr. Khaki?
I spoke earlier in my opening remarks about Canada, our integrity, and our image in the world. I think that we need to shift our image back to that of peacemaker, bridge builder, negotiator, and bringing of social justice. We need to think about social justice in our own backyards. We're talking about Native peoples earlier. In terms of Afghanistan, all the parties have talked about is the fact that there is no military solution, and yet we keep flip-flopping. The Liberals took us there, then it was supposed to be until 2009, now it's until 2011. When will it end? How many people have to come home dead? And are we really making a difference? Actually, we're not. See, a lot of people think that we're actually making a difference there, but we're not. We're siding with one set of warlords and drug lords over another. In the meantime, institutions like hospitals and schools built by military institutions are 2 to 3 times more likely to be hit upon. We're actually sending people to their deaths potentially by being engaged in the military. So in the pursuit of peace, yes, I completely support the pursuit of peace. And I support pulling the troops out from a military deployment in Afghanistan. Thanks.
There's a lot to unpack here. One thing I think we should all be aware of is that Canada does have a military involvement in Iraq. Our militaries are so deeply integrated already that we do have Canadian commanders serving in Iraq under U.S. command as part of the force. And that's something we do as part of the exchange, as part of the military exchange. We do.
No, we don't.
And, well, we could go back and forth like that for a while, but we'll get sources later on.
Iraq.
If you
say
something, it's
where
are they serving? Where are they serving?
Let's keep it down.
You know that there's a military
Where are they serving in Iraq? Tell me where the Canadian troops are serving in Iraq.
Bob, I honestly don't know their exact location.
Okay, all right.
Okay, there's nothing.
Okay. So we need to be very careful about deep military integration with the United States, and that's one of the concerns about the Security and Prosperity Partnership and why we need to know what's on the table and what's being negotiated in our name. With regards to the specific question about Department of Peace, I think it's actually an important question because it might sound, I think there's a temptation to dismiss it as if it sounds flaky, but I think words matter, and I think we used to have departments of war, and we moved towards defense, and I think that moving towards the mentality of having a Department of Peace is actually a good goal and where we should get to. And I want to let you know that the Green Party is actually the only party to have put that in writing. So it is actually the official position of the Green Party that we should be, and not in a naive way, there's going to be a role for the military. There are going to be violent confrontations, even as we are peacemakers, we are going to be involved in those sorts of confrontations. But yes, we should be moving towards a Department of Peace as the way we think about this issue.